I'm Kate Gray. I'm 17 years old and I'm a senior at Lyon County High School. This is the same school that I've always gone to. This is the way it is for almost everything in my fairly consistent life. I was raised in the same house on the same farm in the same town of Eddyville, Kentucky, with the same people, my mom, my dad, and my older brother. We have always kept at least one dog and one cat as pets. Right now we have one very large German Shepherd puppy named Moose and two orange cats, one named Garfield and one named Baloney. I grew up in the same church that I still attend today. I've always loved Jesus and I was saved when I was 7 years old. Soccer is also a great love of mine. I've played for 14 years and I've started varsity since freshman year. I went from making the all-district team as a ninth grader to now being a senior captain. I work at Ackridge Farm Supply and I have for the past year. This is known as the happening place in our town because everyone's always there. I remember even growing up taking trips there with my dad. I also grew up on Disney. I watched the movies and I visited the parks all the time. I've been to Disney World 12 times and it's my favorite place in the world to go. I have such a strong passion for these things because I'm so emotionally driven. This means that I am also very empathetic and trustworthy, making me a good listener and a confidant to many. But the first thing that many will tell about me is that I am a perfectionist. I like things to be done just right and I will do whatever it takes to make it so. This goes hand in hand with the consistent life that I've lived. Consistency has made me a perfectionist and my perfectionism keeps my life consistent. It also makes me very competitive and involved. I don't like losing and I feel the need to do everything. Being this way surprisingly turned my life completely around. I've been heavily involved in the Technology Student Association all of my high school years. I became the chapter historian my sophomore year and the chapter and regional treasurer my junior year. About halfway through my junior year, my advisor told me that there was a vacancy for the state reporter position. I applied because I'm competitive and I felt the need to do it. They narrowed it down to two of us, and then the vice president position opened and they gave it to me and gave the other girl the reporter position. This was a really unexpected turn of events and I jumped into it very blindly. The very first thing I did as a state officer was go to the state officer retreat at Natural Bridge. I was so nervous because I didn't know a single one of them, and I even carpooled with two of them without having met them beforehand. But there was nothing to be nervous about because we clicked instantly. We became great friends and I'm still friends with them today. They all challenged me as a leader and as a person. I showed significant growth from this. People even noticed that I was changing and they were pointing it out to me. What surprised people the most is when I decided to run for the state president. This was way out of the ordinary for me to put myself out there like that. But I went above and beyond in my campaign. I was bound and determined to put my all into it because it was the biggest decision I've ever made. I spent hours on hours shaping my speech into what I wanted it to be. I made a very elaborate trifold board and took over 600 miniature Kit Kats and made them say "Vote Kate." It was a very tough challenge. My opponent ran before and I had not. He had way more experience in the campaign scene. But it didn't stop me from powering through. I gave that speech in front of over 600 people and was even told by some that it was the best one they heard that night. I went way out of my comfort zone. As I used to be shy, campaigning was a whole new game for me. I spoke to everyone I saw, I asked and answered many questions, and I talked about myself to almost everyone I saw, promoting myself and telling them to vote for me. It was a very close race and we weren't sure how it was going to go, but I ended up losing, but I was still given the reporter position. I'm now working hard with the officer team with great experience behind me from being the vice president. Most importantly though, it changed my life drastically. I'm significantly more outgoing, more easygoing, and more confident. I'm told by many that I'm not the same person I was a year ago. This major change in my life showed me that you never get anywhere in life if you get too comfortable with the way things are.